Senate fires Nigeria security service chiefs over deplorable security situation in the country. The Nigerian Senate has effectively started a war with the country's top military generals after it asked the service chiefs to step aside over sustained collapse of security in the country. And it has also directed that President Muhammadu Buhari should immediately appoint new ones who would infuse fresh ideas in combating Boko Haram terrorism, armed bandits, herdsmen terrorist group, among other security nightmares bedeviling the country. The resolution of the Senate was arrived at following a motion sponsored by Ali Ndume, the senator representing Borno South and also the chairman of Committee on Nigerian Army. Hi, this is News Rendezvous TV. If this is your first time of visiting our channel, kindly give us your support by clicking the subscribe button below. Also like, share and toggle the notification bell below to be the first to know whenever we drop a new story. Girei Oloni sacking Chief of Defense Staff, Tukur Buratai, Chief of Army Staff, Sadiq Abubakar, Chief of Air Staff, and Ibok Ete Ekweibas, Chief of Naval Staff, have long been overdue for retirement, but the service chiefs have continued to remain in office to the chagrin and consternation of their junior officers. President Muhammadu Buhari has vehemently refused to boot them out of office in his already 5-year stay in office amidst tumultuous and reprehensible security situation. While moving the motion, Ndume expressed worry that over 200 soldiers have resigned from the army and that many other members of the armed forces who are scared of losing their lives are also in a process of leaving the military, adding that this evolving worrying situation will deal a catastrophic blow to the fight against insurgency in the country. Ndume said, and I quote, "The Senate notes with concern the number of casualties among the Nigerian army and other security agencies. That just recently 24 soldiers were ambushed and killed along Maiduguri-Dambuwa Road in Borno State. 19 other persons were said to have been wounded and 9 other persons were declared missing in action. In Katsina, soldiers were also ambushed and killed, while several others were wounded, and the number of casualties is yet to be known." The Senate appreciates the sacrifice of armed forces in the fight against insurgency and banditry, and the protection of our territorial integrity and several other security assignments given to them. The Senate is concerned, however, that if the trend continues, it will have serious implications on the fight against insurgency banditry. It has been alleged that over 200 soldiers voluntarily resigned their engagement or appointment with the Nigerian army. Buratai had on Monday, after meeting with the president, told newsmen that various shades of security in different parts of the country will end as soon as Nigerians want them to end. Buratai, who noted that various ongoing military operations in the north and other parts of the country were progressing successfully, also said that the security situation in the north had been brought under control, saying the situation had become better than it was few months ago. Responding to a question as to whether there was a possibility of the various violent crises across the country coming to an end, the Chief of Army Staff said various criminal activities plaguing the country will end if Nigerians come together to end them. According to him, those engaging in violent and criminal activities were almost all Nigerians, saying, "These terrorists, 99% of them are Nigerians. These kidnappers, I would say 100% of them are Nigerians. As to whether banditry, terrorism, and so on will end, I think it all depends. If Nigerians want it to end today, I can assure you it will end today. If everybody join hands, because these bandits are not outside Nigerians, they are not from foreign land." Hearing such a bizarre, arrogant, ridiculous, and reckless statement from one of Nigeria's top security chiefs has the propensity to lend credence to the already widely held notion that the security situation in the country was man-made and a problem of convenience. The reality on ground, however, belies the general's position, as it will be recalled that a couple of bloody incidences had been reported in different parts of the country, especially in the north, in the last few days. Report has it that 19 persons were killed in Kukundaji village in Kaduna State on Sunday night, while suspected bandits were reported to have ambushed and killed 16 soldiers in Katsina on Saturday. And in Numan, Demsa, and Lamurde areas of the southern part of Adamawa, gunmen had recently raided, killed, and burned down homes of locals in several fishing and farming communities, unchallenged by the military, necessitating the senator representing southern Adamawa State to raise a motion on the floor of the Senate asking for government intervention, and later in an interview demanded for the removal of the service chiefs for failure and for demoralizing the country's armed forces.
Worried that these large-scale attacks, which have abated somewhat over the last 1 year, have resurfaced again in the last 1 week with consequential loss of lives and property. Concerned that in the early hours of Tuesday, 12 May 2020, unknown gunmen launched attacks on Bolki and Gon, two village areas of Numan local government. 2 persons were killed in the attacks, and the entire villages were burned down and their livestock rustled. Further concerned that a few days later, on Friday, 15th May 2020, communal clashes erupted in Tingno and Sabonlai towns of Lamurde local government, where about 15 people are feared dead and large sections of the town burned down and properties worth millions destroyed. Disturbed that Bemun village, a fishing community in Lamurde local government, was also attacked by unknown gunmen the following day, Saturday, 16th May 2020, and the entire village razed to the ground, although no life was lost. The Senate observes that the communities that were subject to these attacks over the last 1 week are all farming or fishing communities, and these attacks and clashes have effectively impaired their land preparation activities for the upcoming farming season, thereby posing an imminent threat to food security in the area and the state. The Senate accordingly resolves to 1. Direct NEMA to urgently provide relief materials to the communities of Bolki, Gon, Tingno, Sabonlai, and Bemun, recently affected by insurgency attacks and communal clashes. 2. Direct the Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, to urgently carry out an assessment of the destruction of houses, public institutions, and places of worship by insurgents since December 2017 in Shelen, Guyuk, Lamurde, Numan, Demsa, and Mayabala local government areas of Adamawa State, with a view to providing support for the reconstruction of the destroyed structures. 3. Call on the Chief of Army Staff to direct the Brigade Commander, 23rd Armored Brigade Yola, to deploy an army formation on the Adamawa side of the border with Taraba to checkmate cross-border movement of insurgents. 4. Commend the Commissioner of Police, Adamawa State Police Command, for swiftly deploying and stationing a mobile unit at the Tingno crisis area, and urge him to station a similar unit at Bang Bujung axis to act as a deterrent. And 5. Observe a 1-minute silence in memory of all those who lost their lives in the recent attacks and communal clashes in Bolki and Tingno respectively. I so move.
Adamawa senator was among the first in the country to begin to demand for the sack of the service chiefs.
You know, the National Assembly, especially the Senate, felt deeply about the problem of insecurity in the country. And because of that, we had cause to invite the Inspector General of Police to come and brief the National Assembly. In fact, we had cause to dedicate 2 days to debate the issue of insecurity in the country. And at the end of the day, we constituted an ad hoc committee chaired by the Senate leader to look into it and come up with the recommendations. And that committee did a fantastic job, and they have made recommendations to the Senate, which the Senate has accepted. And those recommendations are being passed to the executive, because it is something that you have to work with the executive. If it is funding that is required, then If the executive brings a proposal to the National Assembly for funding, the National Assembly will approve it. So that is that about the security. I observe that the fact that the service chiefs who were appointed in 2015 have been left in office throughout, even with the increased insecurity we are having in the country. The service chiefs have been left. So they have become like tin gods in their various services, and they have demoralized the upcoming officers beneath them. You know, if you are in the office of Chief of Army Staff for 5 years, running to 6 years, you know, the military, they have a tradition. If you reach a certain rank and you reach a certain age, there's something they call age on rank. So they will retire you. Even if you are still strong, you are still, you know. So if the people ahead of you don't live, the ones below cannot grow. So because of that, you find that all the mates of the service chiefs, for example, have left the service. So all the people that are beneath him, his directors, his directing staff, their chiefs, you know, are juniors, way junior to them. So you find that if there's anything, they cannot look him in the face and tell him the truth, because they are afraid maybe if they talk, they will be removed, you know. So because of that, there is a need to remove this service chief and bring new people with new ideas. The same idea, they say if you continue doing the same thing and expect different results, you know, that's the definition of that is mad.
Reacting to the firing of the service chiefs, the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, said the appointment and sack of service chiefs remain the prerogative of the president. Adesina said, as such, President Muhammadu Buhari will do what is in the best interest of the country. He said, and I quote, "The Senate Tuesday adopted a resolution calling on the service chiefs to resign or be sacked due to multi-pronged security challenges in the country." The presidency notes the resolution and reiterates that appointment or sack of service chiefs is a presidential prerogative. And President Muhammadu Buhari, in his capacity as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, will do what is in the best interest of the country at all times. The question on our mind and that of many Nigerians is, what will the Commander-in-Chief do? The presidency admitted in its statement that there is a multi-pronged security challenge in the country. What is Nigeria's best interest in the light of the current security situation in the country? The removal or the stay of service chiefs? News Rendezvous would like to know what you think about the security challenge in the country and the everlasting calls for the removal of the service chiefs. Drop your comments, subscribe, like, and share our stories. Tell us, we want to know, should the service chiefs go or stay? News Rendezvous TV is a place that is meant just for you to have your say on everything, and even some specific things that affect you and your community. If you have a vote, you have a say. Drop your comment. Let's get to know what you think about this very particular situation, and have a great day.